Hi Flosstube, I'm Molly West, Sensible Stitcher, and this is a channel about cross stitch. I am going to do a follow-up on my Christmas and July stitching and a couple of things that I might start at the end of the month. So I guess let's just get into it. My Christmas in July switched a little bit, and that's okay. I mean, just kind of gotta roll with it. It happens. One of the things that happened was that I left the state pretty unexpectedly, and when I left, I went to New Mexico, and they have a 14-day self-quarantine because we're coming from Texas. So we hunkered down in my grandparents' old cabin that's been in our family since my grandparents passed away. And I only took a few things with me, and so I didn't get quite as much variety this month, but that's okay. These things just happen, and we stayed hunkered down and safe. We followed the rules. We took 2 weeks worth of food with us, and we definitely followed the rules. And let's see, one of the things that I started, and it is so beautiful, it is by Sarah Giramani. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Her sense of scale and depth is just on point, and I just absolutely love her designs. So I got a small start on this. To be fair, I had ordered the threads from 123 Stitch, all DMC. I had ordered the threads from 123 Stitch before I left town, and I, fingers crossed that they would arrive in time, and they didn't. And so I pulled the threads that I had from my stash, and I didn't have them all. And so I can show you where I've started. This is just kind of the bottom corner. This is a piece of 20 count even weave fabric. And so this is going to be the size, the full size of it. And I've gotten a start in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's see. And so my donkey doesn't have a tail. My camel does not have most of his saddle is still missing. I'm working on the palm tree, but guys, this pattern is just so fabulous. And I think I mentioned in my last video that I decided to use 20 count so that I could get the same size stitch as a 40 count, but because of the amount of negative space in her patterns, I was hoping that it would be easier for me not to lose track of where I was. There is a lot of just blank area where there's no stitching, and so it's not quite as easy to anchor off of things around it. There's a lot of, counting from this place inward, particularly as you get towards the top of the pattern. Let me pull it back out again. Towards the top, there are these stars and mountain region in the back, and there's just not much to anchor off of. And so I thought that having a 20 count would be easier for me to kind of keep track of where I am. And so far I was right. It's been really easy. The holes are huge. I mean, talk about an easy stitch. This has been great, and I feel like I made a lot of progress. I started on this 3 weeks ago, and it was that camel probably has about 600 stitches in it, so it's a lot of stitching, but it's so worth it. This is a great project, so very happy to have gotten that started. Let's see. The other thing that this was a whip, and I was planning on pulling this one out and continuing with, I had started the ornaments it's Satsuma Street, 12 Days of Christmas. And there are two options. You can either do it with the ornaments, the 12 ornaments, and that's how I had started it. And I had worked on the 11 pipers piping, the 8 maids of milking, the 9 dancers dancing. So I had started a few of these, and every time that I would pull it out while I was in New Mexico, I would look at the sampler that they had on the back, and I would feel so envious that some people were stitching it as a sampler, and I would tuck it away. And I decided that this is really how I wanted to stitch it. I wanted it all in one place. I didn't want the 12 ornaments sort of all throughout my Christmas tree. So I just decided to scrap the ones that I've already started on and restart it as a sampler. That's okay. So let's see, what have I started this one on a piece of scrap. I had used this for something else. It's 18 count Ada. So here is my start. Ooh, this is a wrinkly mess. On the 12 Days of Christmas as a sampler. And it's on bright white 18 count Ada. And I've started with the partridge in the pear tree. And I'm so glad that I restarted it. I'm so much happier with this. This was a good choice for me. I think my stitches are pretty. I'm going 2 over 1 on 18 count, and I think because of the vibrancy of the colors, again, it works. Now all of this bit of the border only has a half stitch. I was just holding my space there. This is all 2 over 1. And the top is. And it is so pretty. I'm really happy with how that's turning out. Okay, let's see what else I have that I've started on. Stick this in here. I probably won't be pulling out my Christmas stuff again for a while, friends. Oh, so that, well, not this one. This one has to come back out. The next one that I have is The Holiest of Night by Homespun Elegance, which I am making for my sister, and you all have seen this before, and I got a lot of work done on this one. I am super happy with how far this one's come along. I still need to, I was off here, so I got to rip out a whole bunch of the border. This needs to be centered. It's one of those borders where you get to rocking and rolling and you memorize the pattern, and then I turned the corner and realized that this middle piece was longer, and they've added a few stitches on each side of it. So I need to come back in and rip part of this out. I still have some sand left and Mary and Joseph, but guys, the last time you saw this, all I had in was the blue outline and the border and the Holiest of Nights. So I have gotten everything stitched in. All of the animals, I think all of the plants, and I just lack Mary Joseph and baby Jesus, and that little dude can be finished and turned into a pillow. My sister's birthday is the beginning of December, so I was going to give it to her for her birthday so that she could set it out for Christmas, and I am loving it. I think it is just so cute. This is by Homespun Elegance, and it is 2 over 2 on 32 count Witchelt golden needle. And this fabric is very, very see-through. So just as a heads up, in case you were considering purchasing that, it is very thin, very see-through. Let's see what else I worked on that's Christmas related. Oh, this was fun. I grabbed this at the last minute and took it with me. I don't know if everybody does this, but sometimes I'll purchase something and I can imagine how I'm gonna stitch it and in which environment. And so when I bought this Ink Circles Forest of Sumatra, it's so beautiful. I imagined stitching it in the mountains in New Mexico, where my grandparents' cabin is, because it's surrounded by pine trees. So I took it, and I've also put little stitches in this one to hold it up. It's a big one, but I got such a great start. This was a new start. So the Sarah Nativity was a new start. The 12 Days of Christmas was a restart, and the Holiest of Nights by Homespun Elegance was a whip. This was a new start, and I am stitching it tiny, tiny, tiny little stitches. This is 1/1 on 28 count, and excuse the fact that I did not have a way to serge my fabric. You see that? I used a white piece of floss. I folded down the fabric and just ran the white floss. I did it all the way around. Oh my gosh. You make do, right? So I am up here in this corner, and I'm about a third of the way through page 1, and I think there are a total of 9 pages. And this one has been an absolute joy to stitch. You know how it is when you go from stitching things with lots of color changes to stitching something that's one color, and I'm using Weeks collards for this, and oh my stars, I think it's my all-time favorite color. It's just so pretty. I am in love with this piece. So it's big, but because I'm doing it over 1 on 28 count, it's going to be a very manageable size. And I loved starting it in New Mexico with all the pine trees and my kids were there. There's a little river that runs along the back. It's a very rustic cabin, and which is so fun and kind of I don't know. It was kind of apropos of the time we're living in, where we're seeing things a simplification. It was perfect. You talk about a simplification. That house in New Mexico is just, it's a little log cabin. It was just what the doctor ordered. So this next one, I struggled, friends. I struggled. And it's such a beauty. I shouldn't have struggled, but I did. I just ripped out a lot of stitches, and I still am not where I need to be on this. But it is Simple Gifts Christmas by Praiseworthy Stitches. And it's beautiful. It's a Quaker, and it's so pretty. And I just kept getting off count. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal was, but every time I would pick this one up, I would get off count. But that's okay. That is okay. I would just frog it out. This is on a 36 count piece of linen that I dyed myself, coffee and tea dyed. And this is where I am. And I have ripped out so many dang stitches on this sucker. But it's coming along, friends. It's getting there, and it's okay. I mean, I didn't get nearly as much done on this little fella as I wanted to. The colors that I'm using on this are, I added in mocha just as a 4th color. But I'm using Classic Colorworks Pine Needles. The mocha was Weeks Dye Works. I am using Razzleberry by Classic Colorworks and Ye Old Gold by Classic Colorworks. And the colors are working well together, and they look nice with my fabric. Some projects are just sort of that way, where you seem to frog them a lot, and I have been frogging this one a lot. So it's not quite in craft prison, but we had some troubles, he and I. So anyways, that's where I am on that one. And the only other thing that I worked on, and it's really, once again, this is barely worth showing you guys. This is how it was in the last video. I put a few, and when I say a few, I mean this is barely worth showing y'all. It's the backwards designs, Blackbird Design, Liberty Eagle. And I'm not doing the sampler, I'm doing the pincushion, which is on the back. And I stitched on this on the 4th of July only. Not even the full day, just for a little while. It's a real shame. Let's see here. Got a little more of his tail to show y'all. I mean, this is, I'll have this done in 2026. Sorry, friends. I don't know why this little guy is just taking me forever. Oh, well, that's where he is. So, but I did stitch on him during the month, so I felt like I should show you. And then as far as plans for the upcoming month, I really don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I have two, I don't know which whips I'm going to work on, I guess is the best way to put that. I do have 2 new starts that I would like to start during the month of August. This isn't for late July. The last week in August, I will be working on, I have a long dog sampler. That is so hard for me to say. That I will pull out, and I have a Birds of a Feather 4 Seasons that I'll pull out. Just some things like that that I work on the last few days of each month. But my new starts for August, I definitely would like to start this one. It's so pretty, and I've had it in my stash, and I don't know if this was a market release. No, it's from 2019. I knew it was one of my newer ones, though. It's from Lila Studios, and it's SL1862, and it's a small sampler. And it's so beautiful, and I have just been wanting, I love the colors in it. It's real vibrant. So I need to finish kitting this. I have my fabric that I'm going to use. I have selected Abecedarian, and it's a 36 count. Beautiful. So pretty. So pretty. So that is one thing that I would like to start in August. Let me just set this up here. And then this one's such a little bitty, but I want to start it in August also. It's so cute, and this is another one that I've had. And it's a small, it's so little. It's called Faithful Friends by Scattered Seed Sampling. And it's only 90 by 48. Let me see if there's a date on here. 2015, so it's older. Oh, that little lab. So cute. So this dog, and I pulled a mystery linen. I think this is either 36 or 40 count, and it looks like almost like a raw linen. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be great. And I have not pulled my floss for this yet, but I do want to start that. That is so cute. So cute. Probably about 3 or 4 months ago, we adopted a beagle that was it was a 1-year-old dog, a beagle crossed with a bulldog, an English bulldog. And this is kind of what the body of our dog looks like. Obviously, our dog has very different coloring, but that's about the leg length and head shape and everything. They're called a beagle. I've never even heard of that. But anyways, Patty, our beagle, has a similar body shape to that little fella. I need to stitch it. It looks like our Patty. So cute. So anyways, and then I have 2 pieces of new haul that came. One of them I ordered in, oh, let's see, she even put a little wooden charm. How cute is this? Okay, so this design is Panna. And it's a kit, it's a full kit. And I bought this one, this came from Russia, and it has a lot of black work in it. It is so pretty. And I don't know when I'm going to start that. I have absolutely no idea when this is going to get started. There's the name. It's so, like I said, this came in from Russia, and I think I ordered it like either the last week in May or the first week in June. And it just arrived, and it's the full kit. It came with, it looks like maybe some Aida. That might be like 16 or 18 count Aida. And some floss. It's the full kit. So I'm super, super excited about that. I think it's gorgeous. I cannot wait to start that. And while I was stitching on my, the Nativity by Sarah that I ordered, I found this one, and it is so beautiful. And of course, we are like the world. We are trying to tighten our belts and work on a budget. I mean, I feel like COVID has impacted everyone to some extent in different ways, and we're so thankful that it hasn't impacted our health, but we are trying to stick to our budget right now. But I sent my husband we're quarantined from each other. He's an essential employee, and I've mentioned this every single time, but he's an essential employee, and we have a mother-in-law apartment on our home. And so he's living in the mother-in-law apartment, and then the children and I are living in the main home. And so while I was out of town, I sent him a message saying like, oh my stars, I love this one that I'm working on so much. And it's the Sarah Giramani. I hope I'm not butchering her name. She's an Italian designer. And she has a pattern that is all about stitching and quilting. And I said, I would really like to have this for Christmas. And when I got home, he had ordered it, and it arrived, and he told me just to go ahead and have it right now. He's very thoughtful. So let me pull it out. And I don't know, I feel like I really should set some restrictions on myself and start this. I already have the fabric for it, but I feel like I should start it after I finish my other pattern by Sarah. But it is so beautiful. I need to insert a closer picture of it. But this is it. And once again, she has used her incredible sense of like scale and depth, and it's lovely. It has women sitting and stitching and quilting, and it is beautiful. It is absolutely, it's lovely. Everything about it is just wonderful. There's cattle. Oh, it's beautiful. So I cannot wait to start. Maybe I won't wait until I finish the other one. Maybe I'll just go ahead and dig in. I will insert a close-up picture of this. And so since my husband and I are kind of quarantined from one another, I saw him. We are taking the COVID. We are taking the guidelines set forth by like the CDC very, very seriously. We're taking it all to heart. We have a son with heart and lung conditions, and my mother-in-law lives with us, and she has heart and lung conditions. And so we are on the ultra cautious end of all of that scale. And so I haven't been around my husband since March. Mid-March, I guess. So it's been a while. But I think that the last time he got his hair cut was at the end of February. And it had gone through kind of some, like, you know how growing your hair out is. It's going through, like, the awkward phases. And when I came back from New Mexico, I realized, like, hey, he's kind of powered through that awkward phase. He's looking kind of cute. And I realized he is, like, a month or two out from looking like a hybrid. If Thor and Dog the Bounty Hunter had like a hybrid baby, that's what my husband would look like. Oh, he is adorable, so cute. So anyways, that's it. That's my husband. He's getting there, y'all. He'll be long-haired super hunk in no time. Hands off, ladies. He is taken. He's mine. Anyway, and I did have a viewer comment not too long ago that they wanted to see a photograph of my horse, Worthington. He's a retired racehorse that we adopted, and he's fabulous. And I went out yesterday. It's about it varies from a high in the 90s to a high in the hundreds. We're in Fort Worth, Texas, and I went out yesterday to kind of cool him down and spray him down with the water, and I took a quick video of him enjoying that cold water on and so I'll insert that video here too. It's not it's super cute. And that's all I have today, friends. It was a very short video. I hope that everyone is doing good and staying healthy. We're staying kind of hunkered down. And I will catch up with you guys. I'm not going to wait 3 weeks for my next video. This time was a little bit peculiar because we ended up leaving town unexpectedly, like I said. And then once we were there, the state requires for you to stay in place for 2 weeks. So we followed all of the rules. We came back on the 15th day. So that is the reason why my video was a little bit later this time. But I hope everyone is doing well, staying healthy. Happy stitching.